Hi, welcome to another Derek Does. Today, we're gonna do these. Hi, and welcome back to another Derek Does. I'm Derek, and this is Derek Does. Usually it's a vintagey type of thing I'm gonna be talking about each week, and obviously the past couple weeks I didn't do anything just because it's been so hot here in Colorado. I just couldn't do anything. It was just so hot. But last week I was going through my closet and I kind of forgot because I don't wear sport coats anymore. I probably haven't worn a sport coat in 10 years, and that was only to like a holiday party or something like that. I never wore them for work. I was never in that. I was never a white collar guy. But I've always loved the 40s look and the 40s sport coats and everything. This particular one is a double-breasted 40s, and I'll show you, it has a really great pinstriping, really great shape. The thing about 40 sport coats, which I'll be showing you, I have three, and then, well, one of them is actually a coat and a suit. It's actually a full suit. And then I have two sport coats, and then I have a full 1950s, probably late 50s suit I'll be showing too, and I'll probably be selling that too just because it is like a 44, and I'm a 42 now. So I can kind of get away with a 40s cut because they're bulkier, they're bigger, they're wider than a modern suit, and they taper a little bit more too, which is really nice, as opposed to a modern suit, which is kind of just a square box. I mean, there's not a lot of, I wouldn't say there's a lot of fashion or just design into it. Now you can obviously find those that look great, but just off the shelf type of thing, usually they're not that great looking, and that's just what they are. That's what it is. So I've always picked up, whenever I was at a thrift store at an estate sale or anything like that, and they still had some men's clothing, I would look, and I would always look for the sport coats. And this is a sport coat. You can have a little matchbook in the pocket. Perfect, right? So I'm going to show you the sport coats. And the thing about 40s and 50s sport coats that are different than modern is they have higher armholes. Also, these suits were made much more heavy duty, I would say, than modern. The fabric is more heavy duty, the stitching's heavier duty, because like a modern coat is, I guess they expect you to wear it for maybe a year or two and then you get rid of it. Where a 40s coat, the men kind of lived in these. And if you go into like a 1920s or before that, they were like really thick wool, because most guys would have one suit. And you would wear that to work, you'd wear that at night, you wear that all the time. It would be, and it was just your suit, and it was much heavier duty than the modern stuff. Even though the modern stuff feels real nice and light, and ooh, it's so smooth and silky. The older stuff is why it still exists. But they did have higher armholes, because if you notice, if I raise my arms in a 1940s suit, the shoulders aren't coming up to here. Like in a modern suit, if you do that, the shoulder pads are going to be at your ears. But in the 40s, it was made for men to do stuff, not just to sit at a desk and do a wave. They would be out. I mean, everybody wore a suit back then. So the suits gave you mobility, and it didn't look goofy when you move around. It was more of an actual jacket. Because if you wouldn't have a jacket that goes up to your ears, but for some reason you buy a suit coat, it goes up to your ears when you raise your arms. So anyway, they had a higher arm cut. So modern ones, the armhole would be down here, but in 1940s and 50s, even 60s, they would be up here. I think in the 70s, it kind of did that switch into what we see in the 80s and then above. And of course, the 80s got really crazy with the shoulder pads and everything like that. So I'm gonna put these up. I got all dolled up for you. I've got my 40s tie on. Always got to have a few of those. So I'm going to put these up on the hanger, and then I'm going to show you kind of the features of them. There's French seams in them, which is really nice, and they're all wool, and it's not usually a wool blend, it's actually wool, but they're gorgeous, gorgeous jackets, and a lot of them are the double-breasted. That was a thing in the 40s, and I got kind of used to it. They don't have pocket flaps, they don't have that weird two pockets on this side and one pocket on this side. You have a really nice wide lapel, which is great because that's just how they were. I mean, obviously you never did this unless it was like really windy, I guess, or cold, and who knows what. But you have lapels here for, you know, a flower. You have a place here for your handkerchief to put in there. So I'll put these on, show them up here, and then kind of show you how it is. Now this particular one, I'll just do my cat just visited me. I'll do a spin so you can see how they look on. And again, this is a 44 size. This may not even be marked. I just went by the sizing. But I'll show you there's union tags inside that you can date them with. This is a Hart, Schaefer and Marks, which is a really good brand back then and even today. They don't have real buttons here on the side because it's not a bespoke type of jacket. This would have been off the shelf at Macy's or Bloomingdale's or Gimbel's or whatever store back in the day you would have gone, or just to find men's haberdashery or haberdasher, whatever it is. You'll let me know in the comments, I'm sure. So let's put this on the hanger and I'll do some close-ups of it. Again, this one is a beautiful blue and it has like a real fine kind of a red pinstripe almost running through it. You can see it's just really nice. It's lined with like a silky material on the inside. It could be rayon, I'm not sure. As I was saying, there's no pocket flaps on this particular one. So it just has the two double-breasted, and of course you could go either way, left or right. You have an inside pocket, and you can see it's lined on the front with that same rayon, but then it's French seamed along the edges. And when French seamed, I mean it's almost like a pair of jeans where you'd have like a selvage edge, but it's actually a little piece of like the rayon ribbon or something that's on the edges to make it clean. This is the old label, Hart, Schaefer and Marks, and this is actually from U.S.N clothing store in Butte, Montana. This is all old suits will have a union tag inside, and from that, and you can go online and you can look up what year they're from. Usually like these, I think would usually say like, oh, let's see, let's take a look here. So this one is dated 49 and up. So it's actually a 50s, early 50s jacket, I guess. It could be a 49. But you can see it has a really wide lapels. I mean, that's almost like a 4-inch lapel. And then has a little French seamy rayon stuff here in the front for your shoulders. And then the back is just straight. There's no, you know, half backs or anything like that. It's a complete all the way down, and it's just a beautiful fabric. It's a beautiful jacket. I mean, if you're into this sort of thing, and if you're watching, then you probably are. That is what a 1940s, 50s jacket looks like, is this. This is a double-breasted. It would have come with a pair of pants. It might have come with a couple different pair of pants, so the gentleman could change the look by wearing maybe, it would have one that matches and maybe one with a dark one and maybe one with a light, just to get, you know, the different looks. And of course you could change your ties and that sort of thing. But this one's going to be available. And this again is more like a 44, maybe a 44 long, in that range. I'll give measurements when I actually put these up on DerekDoes.com. Up next is more of like a taupe color. This was actually one of my first jackets I picked up. It was actually a whole jacket and pants. This one actually fits me a little bit. This might be more of a, actually this could be a 42, I'm not sure. But this one actually has a pair of pants that goes with it. I'll show you this one. It's very, very similar to the other jacket that you saw. It has the wider lapels. It's a double-breasted. There's no flaps here. These are just ornamental, like most jackets. And then it's lined, again, in the front with the rayon each side, and then inside it has the French seams. This one is actually a Maybrook from the May Company. So this would be, the May Company was a department store in the 40s and 50s. So this is a department store jacket. And it comes with the original pants too. So I was really lucky to find this, and it's in great shape. I mean, it's obviously not perfect because, again, these These are 70 years old or are in that range, so but they're still great. So I'm going to put this on the hanger and I'll show you this one. So here is this one. This one actually, you can see I got some braces on it too, but it's the classic. It's the double-breasted, and you can choose either side depending if you're right or left-handed, I guess. Has the same flat pockets. The lapel isn't quite as wide as the blue one. This one's actually a little bit shorter. The blue one was much wider, and it has the same rayon there, but then French seamed on the inside. And then this is the pair of pants that did go with it. I'll take those. I'll show you that too. But it has the 3 buttons, and again, those aren't functional. And on the back, it's the same, where it's just solid up and down. And I'll show you the pants to go with it. Now you can see the fabric is more of just it's kind of it has something in it. So it is wool, but there might be some rayon maybe in it, because there is a bit of a shine to it. It's not like a shark skin suit shine, but it does have a little bit of a shine. I'll show you the label on this one again. I'll do close up on that. So there you can see it's a Maybrook apparel for men exclusively at the May Company. I've had a few things from the May Company over the years that I've picked up. And again, this one also has that 49 dated union tag. Now there's some people that like really know their tags. I'm not one of those people. I mean, I can kind of know the tag, and I can get by with just seeing if it is good or not, but there's other people that will tell you, you know, much more detail, and maybe they'll do that in the comments below. So here is the matching pants that go with it. You can see it has just a little bit of a cuff there on it, nothing crazy, and it's all the way in. It's a nice pair of pants, and it matches the top, which is kind of rare. It does have a little hole right here, which I think has been repaired. Yeah. So I had a hole there at one time. It is, as you can see, it does have some pleats. That's your little watch pocket, which vintage pants would have. And then has the zipper, and then kind of like a slider snap on it. No, just a snap on it. And then the zipper, in case you're curious, I'm a little curious, it is talent. And then has the inside, you know, you've got your pockets and everything, and then you have your buttons for your braces, or you could wear a belt with it too. So here's my third 40s, 50s sport coat, and you can see it's very similar. I guess I have a taste, or at least I only found these type before. So this is a blue, but it has more of a checkered pattern to it, and I'll show you this one. So this one is a blue, again, another double-breasted, very similar, but it has this checkered pattern into it instead of just like the other one. As you can see, it's the same, but this one they did a contrasting kind of a orangey colored rayon there, and then the orangey colored rayon sleeves, and then orangey colored up there too. This one is a Supreme Fashion Tailored Clothes, so it's not even like a brand name. And this one, I can't see that date, but it is an 80 there on the Workers of America, so it's probably about that same vintage there. It has a bit wider lapels than the taupe one. This is closer to the blue one. And then on this side, you've got that, which looks great. I think it looks great. I love the looks of these. These look great with jeans. They look good with dress pants, whatever you want. But really nice and hard to find. They used to be easier to find, but again, they're like 70 years old, and guys that used to wear this, they've already cleaned out the closets and donated the clothes or thrown them away. So finding one, an original, it's kind of a good feat if you can do it. So the last one is more of my late 50s, maybe early 60s jackets. It's much thinner, way thinner. It's like half the thickness as the earlier double-breasted ones I showed you. And again, this is just a single-breasted. It does have little pocket flaps here, just 2 flaps. As you can see, the collar itself, they got rid of the big lapel somewhere in the early 60s. This is probably a 60s then. And this one's kind of a olive colored, and it has a pair of matching pants with it too, which is actually good. So if you can find, you can sometimes find this generation suits with the pants, although usually the pants are just blown out because the guy would wear the pants over and over and over again, and then they would just wear away. But he kept it with the sport coat, where the sport coat would not have near as much damage just because they're not sitting in chairs all the time. They're just leaning against a chair or whatever it is. But this is this coat. And again, it's more of a 44. It would fit a 44 fine, maybe a 44 long even, just because I have longer arms and these seem to fit me really well. And of course, all these jackets can be mended. That's another thing. So if you find a jacket or a pair of pants, a suit that doesn't quite fit you, now if it's too small, you may have a little bit of room to take out to make it fit. If it's too big, you can always make it to fit you because they can remove material way easier than putting material in. So I'll put this on the hanger and I'll show you this one. So this is the more modern, I'll say modern, but you can see this has a really nice green olive, even have a little pocket tab in there, or pocket square. You can see the lapel has gotten way thinner. And then as you get even thinner, if it's a more bespoke jacket, it might be a lot thinner and more madman looking. But this one's similar. It has the rayon, and then on the inside you can see here it's the same. It's unlined and has the French seamed, but these are much longer. It's like the whole, those 40-50 ones only went like this. This one went the whole way. This one is from the executive shop, Webb's in Glendale. So I picked this up when I was in Los Angeles when I lived there, and you can see the union tag it's still there, but it's been kind of swapped and added with a name tag. Sometimes you can find these old suits and you can actually see when they were made and even who they were made for. So if you're lucky, maybe you'll find a celebrity that owned one. And you can see the back. It does have a split here, which I don't know what they call that in suits, but it does have that little cut here, so it's easier to get in and out of cars and that sort of thing. It doesn't bunch up like more of the older jackets would. Now this one does have a pair of matching pants. Here you can see the pants matching. This one still does have a little cuff there, just like the others. But again, much thinner material. And then the inside that has black pockets. But that is the matching pants to the sport coat. Well, I hope that kind of gave you an idea of what to look for in, or how to spot really, a vintage sport coat. Obviously, these are, not all of them are going to be double-breasted. There are single-breasted ones from the 40s. They had, in the 30s, they had ones with special split backs on them. And they had all sorts of types. Everybody had their own style and that sort of. This was kind of like the common style that you would see in any movie or television. The everyman would have worn something like this, as opposed to maybe like someone who's going to college at that time, or someone who was a playboy-ish type guy. They would have had little sportier things. These are very conservative, just a sport coat. And again, this is that patched one that has the window pane colors on it. And as you can see, I can raise my arms and my ears, I can still hear through my ears. So that's the big thing. I think that's probably the biggest thing, besides just the look, is actually how it was cut. And everything just drapes better too, I think, in a vintage one. I think because the pants were taller. Something you need to know. They're not going to be like the crazy up to here pants that you see, but they are going to be up, past your belly button. And the idea of that is that when your pants are up here, the waist, there's fabric that goes all the way down before the bottom of your suit shows. And that's something that it's always bugged me when I look at modern suits. I'll see a guy wearing, obviously a nice brand new suit, but then there'll be this little patch of white or whatever from his shirt because he's wearing these low pants. And the sport jacket, the two sides come together and they make this little triangle, and you see his shirt, and it doesn't look good. At least to me, it doesn't. I like to have that smooth look all the way down, and that's what, when you see an old movie or television or a picture of someone in a sport coat or suit, they just look better. And it's kind of, that is the reason. So if you can get past not having low-rise sport, suit pants, and you can have more of a higher pant, as they would have been worn at the natural waist, your suits will look much better when you wear them. And that's also the reason, you probably also wondered why are these ties so short? They're not short. This is the length of the tie, and it would come to right here is where the pants would be. So it's perfectly fine with this look. If you wear this with one of those really low down to here waists, it's going to look silly because you're going to have this huge gap between the end of the tie and where the pants are. But that's the reason why ties back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s look like this. They were wide, so they would fit nicely, and it just went. That's it. And then, of course, obviously in the late 50s and 60s, you got the real thin ties to where they're like even an inch wide sometimes. They were very small. But the lapels were really small. Everything was streamlined. That was during the whole streamlining thing. This is still when the cars had fins, so why shouldn't your suits have fins if you want to go that way? But that's what this is. Again, all these I'm going to be selling, so they're going to be on derekdoes.com. If you are a 44, 46 guy, these will be great for you. 44, they're going to look like how they look with me, where they're okay, but they're a little big, and you probably should get them tailored to make them fit a little bit better. But that's it on vintage sport coats like this. So hopefully you learned something. Look for tags, look for makers. Also look for, and it's always fun if you can find a suit made for somebody special. Now there's a lot of these you'll find that look like this, but they're made in Hong Kong. Hong Kong was a huge tailor place, and anyone who went there could buy a suit. I think they were cheap, but they were really well made, and they look like these. So you'll see a lot of these, but they'll have usually they have some crazy linings in them, colors and things like that, and they'll say something Hong Kong made for whomever. You'll see that. So keep your eyes open for those too. And people might collect those. I don't know. Maybe they do. But these are what I have, and hope you learned something, and hope you continue to watch. And I'll have new stuff coming up because the heat's going to be going away. So keep watching, and I'll have more vintage guy stuff coming up and girls that you might like. I'll see you on the next one.